Vertical bar. Breaking news. Breaking news. I am Gina with A Voice Podcast News, and today we bring you a shocking and disturbing update. The sudden and suspicious death of Virginia Giuffre, one of the most outspoken survivors in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. 6 years after she publicly declared she was not suicidal, she's now dead, and officials are calling it suicide. But many are asking, was she silenced? Or is this another powerful cover-up? Let's break it down. Who was Virginia Giuffre? Virginia Giuffre was one of the first women to publicly accuse billionaire Jeffrey Epstein and his network of sex trafficking, manipulation, and abuse. She claimed Epstein, along with Ghislaine Maxwell, trafficked her to powerful men, including Prince Andrew, when she was a teenager. Her case made international headlines. A photograph of her with Prince Andrew, his arm around her waist, became a symbol of a much bigger scandal. She fought for justice. She became a voice for survivors. She faced backlash, threats, and legal intimidation, and she never backed down. Her warning in 2019. In 2019, shortly after Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his jail cell, Virginia posted a public statement that would later become eerily prophetic. She wrote, "I am making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me, in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted." She knew the risk. She saw what happened to Epstein, and she wanted the world to remember her words. The incident weeks before her death. Fast forward to April 2025. Virginia is hospitalized in Western Australia. She claims on social media she was hit by a bus and given just 4 days to live. The post quickly spreads and then vanishes. No police reports confirm the accident. Local authorities say they have no record of a bus collision. The hospital confirms she was treated, but not for life-threatening injuries. After a short stay, she's discharged, and then just days later, she's found dead at her home. The cause? Officially listed as suicide. The internet reacts. Her family released a brief statement saying Virginia had battled trauma her whole life and ultimately lost that fight. But online, many weren't convinced. One user on X, formerly Twitter, posted, "So let me get this straight. Virginia Giuffre, alleged Jeffrey Epstein victim, survives a bus slam into her despite being given just 4 days to live. Then, once she valiantly claws her way back from the edge of death, now on the road to recovery, she suddenly commits suicide?" Another wrote, "Hit by a bus last week, hospitalized in serious condition. If this isn't weird, I don't know what is. What a bizarre story. Did someone kill her?" These are not fringe voices. These are people asking very legitimate questions. The Epstein pattern. How many coincidences? Let's take a moment to look at the pattern. Jeffrey Epstein, found dead in a high-security jail in 2019. Suicide, we were told, though the guards were asleep and the security cameras failed. Jean-Luc Brunel, a modeling agent linked to Epstein, also died by suicide in a Paris jail. Now Virginia Giuffre? How many people tied to this network have to mysteriously die before the public starts demanding real answers? Prince Andrew and the royal settlement. Giuffre's most high-profile allegation was against Prince Andrew, a senior member of the British royal family. She said Epstein trafficked her to the Duke of York when she was 17. Andrew denied it, but ultimately settled the lawsuit for a reported $12 million. If this had gone to trial, what else would have come out? Who else might have been named? Could Virginia's continued advocacy have led to a broader investigation? That may be a question we'll never get an answer to now. A voice for survivors, silenced? Virginia wasn't just another accuser. She was a symbol of strength. She was building a nonprofit to help trafficking victims. She was speaking out at conferences. She was writing a book. She had plans. And that's what makes this death so painful and so suspicious, because she was not spiraling in silence. She was organizing. She was preparing to speak out again. If this is suicide, it goes against everything she had just set in motion. What does the law say? As of now, Western Australian authorities are treating the death as a closed case. No foul play suspected. No further investigation. But there are serious red flags. the lack of accident records, her clear suicide warning in 2019. The suddenness of her death after hospitalization and the silence from key people in her life, the media isn't asking these questions. So we are. What happens now? Some believe that more documents related to Epstein's network are still sealed. Some say names of powerful men are being protected. Others point to court filings that have vanished or been redacted. Virginia was one of the few people left who could speak to what really happened behind the scenes. And now she's gone. The world should be screaming, but the headlines are quiet. This is bigger than one woman. The death of Virginia Giuffre is not just about one woman's tragic end. It's about a system that protects the rich and silences the brave. She warned us this might happen. And now, just like Epstein, her death leaves more questions than answers. If this is how the world treats a woman with visibility, legal support, and public sympathy, what happens to those without it? Final thoughts. If this was truly suicide, it highlights something deeply disturbing about how our world treats survivors, especially those who speak against the powerful. Virginia's fight didn't end in the courtroom. It was daily, psychological, emotional. She lived with the scars of what was done to her, while also carrying the burden of being a symbol, of resistance, of truth, of uncomfortable accountability. And if it wasn't suicide, if this was something darker, then her death may have been the final chapter in a long, calculated silencing of Epstein's enemies. Either way, we can't forget her name. We can't ignore the warning signs, and we can't stop demanding justice, even when the world tells us to move on. Because if we do, the next Virginia Giuffre will suffer alone, unheard and unprotected. Virginia Giuffre told the world in 2019, "If something happens to me, don't let it go. We hear you, Virginia. We haven't forgotten. We're not going to let this go." Whether this was suicide, cover-up, or something in between, the truth deserves light, and survivors deserve more than silence. I'm Gina, and this has been A Voice Podcast News. If this story moved you, disturbed you, or made you ask questions, subscribe, share, and speak up. Because when voices like Virginia's are lost, it's up to us to keep the truth alive.